What's going on, guys? Hope you're well and warm. Kicking and fly today, baby, because it's Tuesday, which means it's post-Canada Day, pre-Independence Day. Canada Day, then Independence Day. Imagine that. Now, if you weren't 100 years older than us, well, our birthday would be before yours. Guys, great to see you. I hope you guys are getting ready for a lot of good meat, some fireworks, and maybe some wobbly pops and some good hoots with some friends. That's how I enjoyed my day yesterday. Today I want to have a conversation in regards to CO2. People are often asking me all the time, Pigeons, should I be using CO2 in my garden? I've heard lots about it. I heard that it can increase plant growth and the health and the stability and the strength and structure of the plant. And I'm just wondering if I should be using CO2 in my indoor garden. I gotta be honest with you, 9.5 times out of 10, my answer is no. You don't need CO2 in an indoor garden. Now, of course, that makes for a great title, and there are examples where you might want to use it because there is no denying the benefit of CO2 when it's needed. But we're going to talk about that right after this. Guys, if you're just getting here, AC Infinity has released the Terraform 7. This is an AC unit, heater, VPD monitor, all in one, including a dehumidifier. Pre-orders are available now. If you head on over to acinfinity.com, use promo code PIGEONS420, you can hit yourself up with not just a go-kart, but you can get yourself an air conditioner, dehu, heater, VPD monitor, all in one. Go check out acinfinity.com. You won't be disappointed. AC Infinity, on top of the greatest products in the game, they've got a name you can trust. So, without further ado, head on over to acinfinity.com. Use promo code PIGEONS420. Now, CO2 in your garden. There's a number of reasons why I don't think someone should be using CO2 in their garden, but the number one reason is because I believe that the ambient levels of CO2 in your house, in your area, is significant, and it's enough to keep your plants satisfied. Between yourself, your family, your plants, your pets, they're giving off enough CO2 that you don't need to supplement CO2 in an indoor situation because there's enough in the air already. So don't waste the money, man. Also, the light availability. Generally speaking, indoors, lights aren't intense enough to require supplemented CO2. Now, rule of thumb is most lights aren't. Most gardens aren't. Of course, there's going to be examples where you've got a garden that's packed wall to wall with plants. You've got a light that's massive because, let's face it, lights today are huge. They're incredible. And in some cases, they're way bigger than we actually need in an indoor situation. But we use them anyway. You might need CO2 in that situation. But 90% of cases, I don't believe the light and or garden requires additional supplemental CO2. So don't do it. You don't have an intense enough light. Your garden isn't really sucking that much CO2 out of the air. The sufficient amount of ambient levels of CO2 is around 400 to 500 parts per million. The circulation, ventilation, humans in the area are going to naturally exchange that air and keep CO2 supplemented in the air around that 400 to 500 parts per million. Over the last few generations, decades, our plant has adapted to the indoor situation. The majority of gardens and testing and breeding and future of our plant starts indoors. Because of that, these genetics have been bred to withstand ambient or indoor CO2 levels. They've already been adapted to their environments indoors. Adding CO2 to the equation is only going to be a waste of time, effort, energy, and money. And then there's practical considerations. Adding CO2 to an indoor garden can add complexity to the equation that you might not necessarily need. It requires monitoring and control. Just another variable that you need to keep into consideration when you start your gardening practices. Don't make it complicated. Quit using CO2. I understand people on the internet are telling you that you need CO2 in your garden. The reality is you already have CO2 in your garden. Now, there are monitors that you can buy that allow you to determine how much parts per million you have of CO2 in your environment. Consider checking them out. If you would like more information on CO2 and the ability for it to help your garden and whether it can, I encourage you to go check out Rob's video over on CLTV. He does a great dive into CO2 and gives you a little more information on things that you might be looking for in your garden. That's all the time I have, guys. I appreciate you for watching. Much love. Stay medicated, and I'll see you soon. Peace. It's post-Canada Day, pre-Independence Day. Isn't that crazy? Canada Day before United States Day? United States Day? I often get